There was a test screening of Superman last week, and I know someone who was there. It took place on the Warner's lot. It was Wednesday, March 26th in the afternoon. About 60 people showed up to the lot to see a test screening of a movie. They did not know it was Superman. Peter Safran and James Gunn were in the audience. It was at the Stephen J. Ross Theater on the Warner lot. Everyone was heavily vetted to see the movie, and they got to see Superman. It is the what they saw was unfinished. Some of the effects with the kaiju fight unfinished. There was also the titles were not completely finished. I'll tell you the bullet points of what I know, but I will not tell you spoilers, and I know them, a lot of them. Here's what I know. The running time surprised me. The film is an hour and 55 minutes, so just under 2 hours. Again, not complete. It was reported earlier that the movie was over 2 hours and 20 minutes. This cut that was shown to civilians, right? This was people that were, recruited to come to test screening, saw an hour and 55 cut of the film. We know about Bradley Cooper playing Jor-El. That came out. Additionally, the performance of David Cornsweet, he is truly Superman, from what I was told. He really is just from a heart, everything. He gave a great performance. There is also Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor is chilling. People will die as a result of Lex Luthor's actions.
He's evil.
He is pure evil in this movie. Again, the effects were unfinished. I was also told that while people have been concerned about there's too much in this movie, the JLI, Justice League International, Guy Gardner, whatnot, these side characters, they're not as big a part of the movie as you might glean from the trailer that we've seen. Also, we've barely seen anything about what the story is. I actually know what the story is. I will not tell you. I don't think it's fair.
I agree.
I don't think it's fair. I'm not going to do that. What happened at the end of the screening, two last points I'll make. When the screening ended, it was wildly positive response from the people that were there. And someone screamed, Fantastic Four is fucked at the screening. After James Gunn and Peter Safran were overheard to be talking about the way they're promoting this, the way this film will be promoted will be big. They will do for this movie what they did for the promotion of Barbie. It will be huge promotion for this film. I know a lot more specifics. I don't want to say what they are. But I'll just say my faith is renewed. I think we haven't seen much of the film. I've been skeptical. I feel again, cautiously optimistic, but hearing this firsthand makes me excited. And I'll end with this, and we'll go with, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. James Gunn's got a pretty good track record. If you look at the Guardians movies, he was integral to the Infinity Saga, mapping that out. And you know what? The Suicide Squad, pretty good. Really pretty good. And when you look at his roots in indie film, Super is one of my all-time favorite indie superhero movies. Watch Super with Rainn Wilson. It's amazing. And one last thing I forgot to say. There, a quick thing, not big spoiler, but encouraging. Jimmy Olsen in the movie apparently is hysterical. He has a really good character arc, and he's kind of like a Pete Davidson type, where women are always after him, but he's kind of clueless. So I love hearing this. It just, the way it was described to me is like he's like Pete Davidson. He doesn't understand why all the girls like him. So, but it's great to see Jimmy Olsen treated with respect. That's what I know. I'm sure people will write about what I said here, which is fine. I know a lot of stuff I don't say, but I'm encouraged by what I hear. Additionally, Supergirl in the movie for a little bit. I don't want to say what I know about her character, but everything was very encouraging, including not just the reaction to the person I know who was there, but the entire audience, which was a small one. We'll leave it there and go to your comments. What do you guys think? So,
well, I'm happy to hear it. I mean, I want this movie to succeed, man. I want it to be good.
Me too.
Like, I really want it to be good. And I've always, and yeah, I was a little skeptical, but I've always erred on the side of Gunn, just because I do trust James Gunn as a filmmaker. Even though things are looking weird in the trailers and the behind the scenes, and I still wish they kind of stopped that. I wish they just lay off the behind the scenes stuff. We don't need to see anymore. But I'm really rooting for this movie. I say I'm more rooting for this movie than I am even Fantastic Four. And I want that to succeed too. But I really am hoping that James Gunn pulls this off for DC.
Right.
I'm rooting for it too, by the way. I see McReady in the chat saying, Cope, like, bro, if you've been watching in the streams, I'm the one suggesting to all my friends melting down that if they even do this badly, it's so good that it could just be, you know what I'm saying? So if they actually treat this with respect, good. I'm glad that they liked it. We're in a place where we need clear examples of heroes and good and evil. And if Lex is all the way evil, and this is exactly what I was saying. Yeah, the suit is shit. I don't like the suit, and I don't think we will. But I'm glad everything else seems to be coming around.
Yeah, I don't want to say any more, but I do know quite a bit more, including story elements. And
I will beg you after the stream.
It really sounds epic. So I'm but from the way they've been promoting it, that's what gave me pause. It feels like Gunn has been promoting Superman like he treats his own personal social media. You need a coordinated campaign. Now, maybe it's because they don't really have much, so he's going this route, but comparing it to the level Warner's promoting this like Barbie, that big of a promotion, like it hasn't kicked in yet, is what I'm saying. So there you go.
From a image management perspective, the Fantastic Four looked more coherent than what we've seen so far from Superman.
Right.
If those individuals, those characters that we saw are not going to be integral to the movie, I would have rather have not seen them. I think it just took us down a trail that made us skeptical, and I don't see the point in making the public skeptical.
Paul, would it make sense to you that apparently we heard that Zafran asked James to include those characters so they could be introduced for later properties? Specifically asked.
What I was told, they're not as big a part of the movie as you might think from the trailer. That's what I was told.
Meaning they're just there so that we can see that they are in the world.
They're there because that's the world that Superman has entered in, and he's only been Superman for a couple years.
But Batman's been there for 10 years, right? So it's established.
I don't want to say anymore. Like I'm dancing.
Don't confuse us. I think the stuff that they've been putting out so far has confused
you're
the
absolutely
population.
Right.
And I don't see 100%. Why they did that.
You are right. You are correct.
I agree. If they don't play a huge role, then surprise us in the theater. Let us be surprised as opposed to showing us in the trailer. Look, I'm a huge DC fan, and I'm really hoping that this is good. The fact that Lex Luthor is going to be evil, an evil villain, we're getting a villain versus a hero. I'm all for that. I really want DC to come back. I'm really rooting for this movie. I've been incredibly skeptical just because of, the mess that DC has been in these past few years, and with all of these movies, it's been a huge mess. So I really want them to come back with a bang. I really want this movie to be good. It sounds good, but I'm still going to hold my excitement, remain a little bit reserved, but yet optimistic about this movie.
Steph, what you saw the very first Donner Star Wars? Superman, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of it?
Oh, I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the effects for that movie, they did not hold up at the time I
no.
saw it.
No.
Some of the model work was kind of cheesy, but that between Christopher Reeve performance, between like the score, between the way that, and the other thing is, oh God, one last thing, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, is this isn't all laughs. Humor is in the movie, but the movie knows when to not be funny.
Chris, what you said was what I was hoping for.
That's actually good to hear.
Yeah, there's humor, but not to the degree we've seen in previous Gunn's work.
And that Superman,
what's that?
His Superman would be pure. Like you said, that it's
Yes.
Superman from the heart. You can mess up with a lot of things, but as long as you get Superman right, as long as you get Lois Lane right, as long as you get their connection, and we see Superman beating up a big monster, it's gonna make money.
Told that one dumb shot where David Cornsweet kind
Wonky eye.
That's it. You see so many other, it's barely in the movie. It's a quick moment when a lot of things are happening. So I'm encouraged, but again, I do believe the marketing is not helping it. Let's go to
especially like with that very first image that they put out,
putting on the
with
shoes,
him just putting on his boots. Yeah, the reveals so far have been really just off.
I know what that's about.
I agree with Stephanie.
I know what that's about in context.
And Gunn is not afraid. Gunn is not afraid of heating things up and adding the danger. I mean, High Evolutionary in Guardian 3 was a nasty piece of work.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that we sat there in Guardians 3 and got broken up and choked up over fake animals, digital CGI, right? Like he has the power to do that. And even like Guardians 2, not my favorite of them, but that ending, like really, he knows how to like sneak up and then he gets you in the feels. So there definitely be that will be part of Superman.
Well, as long as Bradley Cooper isn't playing Rocket in Superman, I'll be fine.